Okay, we will now go to item number 3, memorandum of agreement between Torrance County and ARES. Javier Sanchez.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm here presenting the MOA between Torrance County and Torrance County Amateur Radio Emergency Service. And the purpose of it is to really provide a framework for cooperation between county government and the ARES group. And I'm reading verbatim here. In preparing for and responding to county needs for communication during emergency events. I understand you all have reviewed the MOA. Do you have any questions for me? Are there any concerns?
Thank you, Javier. Just for clarification, the TCARES stands for Torrance County Amateur Radio Emergency Service.
Correct.
I think the one concern that legal had with this was the potential liability for the use of the trailer. And although it's remote, that number one, that we would have a situation where this would kick in, where ARES would actually be providing the emergency communication. I understand that Javier believes that could happen in case of a fire in certain locations. So the only question that we had on this is the potential, anytime you're allowing some outside entity to use county equipment, you increase the potential for county liability. And I also think that you also probably put our insurance policy at risk for allowing someone outside the county to use the county equipment. So I think it's remote, but I just wanted to make you aware of it.
Okay,
Also, you might please note, if I may, the county equipment that will be used is limited to the trailer. It will be pulled by a personal vehicle, a volunteer. Since no volunteers are allowed to drive a county vehicle, it will be a personal vehicle. And the equipment inside the trailer is also ARES equipment. Just wanted to specify the equipment that is county and.
Okay, thank you, Javier. I have a follow-up question then. When you say trailer, it will be outfitted with a radio station counter, equipment boxes, message boards, etc. So this is not like an emergency trailer that our fire marshal would use. This is just, is it a flatbed trailer that you attach to a truck and pull, or is it an enclosed
It's an
trailer?
enclosed trailer, and we have one that's available. We also have one that a grant was awarded to us to purchase. So we have a trailer available, and they would outfit it. So we would not incur any cost by outfitting. It's just an enclosed box trailer. So they will invest the work, the labor, and the equipment towards outfitting that trailer and making it an emergency communications trailer.
And there is no other such group that would come to us later and say, well, you didn't ask us to do an MOA?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. All right, those are all my questions. We're now at the table. Are there any other questions?
I have, Javier, on your MOA, you have that the operators will have 24/7 access to the dispatch and to the dispatch center. And is Dorothy aware that anybody can come into there? I mean, because they're pretty particular. That's why they have the security system and stuff to where people can't just come in.
Now, the idea is not to give the impression that a person could just walk in there whenever. It's specific, the MOA is specific in terms of naming the EOC as the location to which they would have access. Now, the EOC contains a station specifically assigned to ARES to where they could have a representative station within the EOC in the event of an EOC activation.
So they would have to be, the emergency would have to be activated before they would have access.
namely,
Okay. Okay. That's all I have. And you're okay with this, Dennis? Well, then shake you on the liability.
We have requested that there be an indemnification provision put in here. I understand that the amateur radio folks have an issue with that. And I think the county manager's office contacted AOC regarding this as well, is that correct?
We contacted the AOC previously regarding volunteers using county equipment, and they don't specifically cover volunteers carrying county equipment. They said there's no way to eliminate the liability that the county undertakes when allowing that type of usage, but that it was up to the county. And the ARES group indicated that because of time constraints, they weren't comfortable allowing the indemnification language. So maybe if given some more time, they could go through the state agencies and allow the inclusion of that language as well. But without approval from the state level, they were not comfortable with it.
Let me just pose a question to Javier. Is it not possible for the trailer, even though it has their equipment on it, to be pulled by a county vehicle to whatever location they need it, and then the county maintains control over the trailer?
yes, of course, in the event of an emergency, if resources are available, then that could happen. However, the entire advantage of being placed at the disposal of the county is that in the event of an emergency where emergency communications are needed, then having a volunteer, a trained volunteer available to pull that trailer and actually operate the station is the advantage.
Well, I understand operating the station, but I don't understand the advantage of the volunteer pulling the trailer, I guess.
So if we have a situation, say it's in a remote area, and all of our law enforcement are busy, all of our fire responders are busy, I'm at the EOC, and all of a sudden we have an incident occur where we lose communications, radio communications, but everyone's really tied up, then it would be easy for me in the EOC to tell the person sitting there next to me, why don't you pull this trailer out to this location and ensure that we have communications. In that situation where other resources are already fully deployed and scarce, then having a volunteer with the ability to pull this trailer out there and fully operate it provides an advantage.
Javier, if I may, Dennis, if this, I can understand your need, but as you said, the advantage, the disadvantage, and God forbid it would happen, is during an emergency when everybody is in a rush to get things done, and that volunteer begins to take that communication trailer up to a forest fire, or whatever emergency it may be, and en route flips the vehicle and there's a fatality. Do you understand that since they are not an employee with the county, that the family then has the right to sue? There's not a immunization or anything for it, and without an indemnity clause that is included in this MOA, then we're left out. We're hung. I don't know how else to put it, but
If
in dealing with liability and dealing with how people can come at you, I would suggest that if the AREC does not want to include or something, then we need to look at a different route to go. I would think that somewhere we could find somebody within the county to pull that trailer to where you needed it.
There's a comment from Annette?
We have had the ARES group involved in our emergency communication for quite some time, since I began working here 10 years ago, they have at least been involved in the emergency communications. And it's only during emergencies, obviously, that they're activated. I can't say though that during other emergencies, we've not called on the road department to haul the trailers for us, or some kind of county vehicle to haul the trailer. So I don't think that would be a problem in finding someone to haul it for us, if that's where this lies, is just hauling it. But as far as using the equipment, are we just talking about using the trailer itself with their equipment in it?
Yes.
Yes.
That is, it's just the transportation to get it there.
The obstacle being the hauling. We could do we have two options, it looks like. One option being, we can specify that a county employee would always pull that vehicle. Or we could let the ARES group fiddle around with their national state and see if they can include that language. We can do that. It seems to me that the logical way to go about it would be to do one and then the other.
Well, I would move that we not allow any volunteers to pull the trailer, and that in the meantime, they can research and get the information and the backing that they need, where we have something in black and white that we can send to legal and see if it's going to still give us exposure to a liable suit.
Of course, it's at your discretion.
Thank you.
Dennis, any?
No, I certainly think that's the prudent path for us to take.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Commissioner. Before I call for a second, Commissioner Tapia, would you like to have any comment?
I don't need a comment.
Okay, is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion passes.